I've been making incremental improvements to the dust collection in my shop, and the next one is installing this Cyclone dust separator. I'll be replacing this trash can lid separator. I'll be replacing this cobbled together mess over the RAS. I'm going to drop two 4-inch hoses down and attach to the new dust hood I put on there. Those will attach underneath. I'm going to replace this 4-inch trunk line with 6-inch hard pipe, and I'm going to move it over to the other side of my main beam. By putting the 6-inch line in, I'll be able to split off for the two 4-inch hoses for the RAS. I'll also be adding another 4-inch T and blast gate so I can split off a 4-inch to two 2.5 inches for my router table. Because right now, the way I've got it, I've got one 2.5 inch splitting off into two, and it's just not providing enough airflow. That's just the collection drum left in there. Well, the handle doesn't fit especially well. I think I'm going to take it off and round off the inside corners to let it fit the profile of the drum a little better. I might be able to tighten it up enough to bend it into place, but the drum already looks a little bit flat along this side, like it may have been bent in shipping. So yeah, I think I'm just going to modify that handle. Alright, I did a little modification with my belt sander and got the handle rounded off. It fits much better now. Well, after I edited out all the swearing and crying and grumbling and griping, there just wasn't much of the build video left, so here it is. I didn't dump my bag before I started using the Cyclone Separator, and you can see it barely has anything in it. That's about how much I had in it when I started using this large particle separator. Let's see, I think I can get a better shot down here. Yeah, so it's got about, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches of dust in the bottom of the bag. I wish I had dumped it so I could have good reference for exactly how much is getting through, but it doesn't look like it's changed much at all. So I'm going to open up this drum here and see what I've got in it. See through the window that it looks like the bag is just about full, but that could just be some line up in a fold on the bag, so I'll see in a minute. Yep, the can is almost filled. It's up to the fill line, so I'm getting ready to dump it. I am thoroughly impressed with how much dust this thing caught. There's a lot of fine dust in here along with the large particles. That right there on my fingers is just powder. I installed this Grizzly Growler large particle separator a couple months ago, and it's done a really good job. I haven't had to empty the bag on my dust collector since I put this in. I've dumped it twice now, and my dust collector bag is still almost empty. The only problem I have with this is it only has 2 latches to hold the can to the lid, and I'm not getting a very tight seal. The sheet metal the lid's made out of is a little bit flimsy, so in order to address that, to pull the can tighter and make a better seal, I'm going to install more latches. I've got four latches that I'm going to install on here, so I'll have a total of 6, and that should help tighten up the lid a bunch. I've got the hole positions marked on the lid. I'm spacing most of these evenly in line with one of the bolts that attaches the lid to the separator, but I've got the window over here, so I'm going to have to put this one off center. Let's see, I'm using number 6x32 1/2-inch bolts to attach these. Wish I could have found some shorter, but 1/2 inch is about the shortest thing that I can come across. They'll work, they're just sticking out a little bit farther than I like. Got all the latches installed. I believe if I'm really careful, I can grind the excess part of the bolts off with my angle grinder, so I'm going to give that a try. Get the bag back in here. Buckle up. Got all the new clamps adjusted. Yeah, that's pulling that back side nice and tight, bringing it in. The can may be a little bit egg shaped. That might be why it wants to stick out in the back, because there's a good bit of room in the front and it's up tight in the back. At any rate, it's fitting against the, it has a foam strip under here to make it seal, and it's fitting against the foam, so that's the main thing that's important. Got a grounding clamp attached to the barrel. there's a big debate about whether grounding small shop systems is necessary or not. About half the people say it is and half say it's not. But I figure out here on the side of caution, it's not that big of a hassle to ground it. And if it keeps me from having a fire, awesome. If it just makes me think it's keeping me from having a fire, well, that's awesome too. Well, all right, ready to go. I'm thinking I may need to add some overhead dust collection to my bandsaw. If I do, it'll be something simple, maybe just a 2.5 inch pipe drop down behind the blade. Not sure, but I suppose there's always improvements to be made.